Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Josh's vlog. And you guys saw the workout at the start, and we're going to get him back in the flow of doing these. I did want to try to figure out how to get these files back in order. For some reason his this week, they just went out of order when I copied them into the folder to do the vlog, and so therefore I just copied them all into here. But honestly, his workouts are very short. They're very short. And you guys will notice it's probably one of the lowest volume templates I could do. We're going to rotate movements here and there. But one of the things that you will note is that it is just so low volume. And what we did here, because he's a serious BJJ competitor, right? Very serious. He competes in tournaments. He, right now, is back to rolling 6 days a week. And so he practices for his sport 6 days a week. So he's doing BJJ that often, fighting that often. So what we have to look at is he's accumulated quite a few injuries, inflammation, tendon problems, everything else from the sport itself. You know, it's a combat sport. You get beat up. You get beat up. So accordingly, when we're looking at his programming, we're trying to, number one, work around those injuries. Number two, we have to avoid overuse. Number three, because he is rolling so much, what we had to do is, because strength and size are very important to him, but they are of secondary importance. Okay, because he is first and foremost a competitive athlete, and he's not in a true strength sport. Sure, strength is an important part of any combat sport, but it's not the entirety of it by any means. Now, one thing I don't like there, by the way, and I caught him on, is he needs to lock out those speed pulls. Josh, lock those speed pulls. You already got my message on it, you know that. So, strength is a secondary priority. So what does that mean? If we program in such a way to maximize recovery and we do the minimum volume to get decent gains. Decent gains. We're not looking at, hey, can we maximize gains? Like, can we get good, solid progress without it interfering with his sports-specific practice? You guys are going to notice some things. We're going to do a lot of band work. Like a lot of his max work. Like if we look this week, what does our max work look like? Back squat against bands, bench press against bands. All his speed work that we can do. He can't get the band set up perfectly on the speed pulls yet. We're working on it. Why bands? Rate of force production. He's always having to outrun the bands. He's in a contact sport. Rate of force production matters. I'm more concerned with, can he create speed on the training maxes, and can he outrun bands? Can we create the highest rate of force production on these movements? Then can we lift the most weight? Now, those two things are related, but we need the speed strength for him. So what does a max effort bench press day look like? Very low volume, really. We ramp to a training max. We do 3 sets of floor press, 3 sets of inverted rows, and a ton of band press downs for triceps. Now, you might be asking, why all the band press? He has elbow issues. From his sport, he has elbow issues. Bands are easy to recover from. We can do a lot of volume. Also, he has to do only closed grip benching due to some shoulder injuries already. So we want to double down on the tricep development, because if the triceps can grow faster, the tendons are stronger, they recover faster, we can handle higher workloads on the rest of the pressing, which will give him the size and strength in the front delts, pecs, everything else. It's very straightforward though. We do 3 supplemental lifts. It's only 11 work sets total after the max, and then he goes home. These workouts are fast. You know, we're talking about 30 to 45 minute workouts. And that's counting the ramp up to the max in there. All right, his max effort lower days are going to be a squat or a hip hinge. And we do good mornings, do glute ham raises, and then whatever ab works, right? He does ab work on any of these that he wants to, as his time allows. 6 work sets, all posterior chain, after the max. right? Very low volume, very specific movements. Get over to the speed benching days. Again, a bit more volume because we have, all the speed benching always against bands. All right, we have the speed benching against bands. Then what do we have? Same thing, but without the floor pressing. We don't even worry about the floor pressing. We got 10 triples with the speed bench. We just do inverted rows, band press downs, and then if he has time, abs, and he goes home. Dynamic effort lower days are the highest volume. That's pretty much our highest volume of the week. Notice I have him do lots of sets though. Notice it's 10 doubles of both. Again, the speed work has tremendous carryover to our sport. It's easy to recover from. We can put more volume into dynamic effort work for lifters like this. What do we follow it up with? Good mornings and glute ham raises. Now, I noticed this week in the vlog he was doing RDLs. I want to get him back to the good mornings. I personally think good mornings would benefit him more than the RDLs with straps. But sometimes he runs into problems doing them. Sometimes they're painful to his knee. But I want to work him towards doing them. And I know this week he chose to do the RDLs instead. But the idea is the same here. We have a stretch reflex related hamstring and posterior chain exercise. Then we have a glute ham raise. Notice we're not spending a lot of time worried about quads. Well, he does a lot of conditioning. We have all the speed work. Okay, it's enough. Posterior chain, we need hip extension. What's going to matter more for his sport, the hip extension? So we focus on that. All power starts in the hips. All power starts in the hips. And I'm always going to want to do tons of hip extension work for anyone who's an athlete. If they have recovery to work with, that's probably where we want to put it. But we have to watch that even with overuse, with their sport-specific practice, with their competition. And, some people would look at this template and they might go, can a person really make gains on this? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Most of you out there would make better gains off this template we're running than a lot of the nonsense you see people doing. And this is not even close to a maximum gains template. It's saying what's the minimum we can do to gain good muscle and strength and to still focus on athleticism, and recovery is the primary things that we focus on. And so that's what we're doing. So again, this training here is going to be a little bit different than, say, one of my power lifters. Because again, the power lifter only cares about strength. The athlete cares about excelling at their sport. And this is complementary work to it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.